Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k. The school holidays are over, so I'm getting back in the trenches and we're going to start doing some more Necron content, more frequent content, and yeah, we're going to start this with these new Refresher reviews. Now we've already done pretty much every review in the Codex from 10th edition, but we're going to sort of do a refresher and apply it to the Pariah Nexus deck that we've got not that long ago. So we're doing a poll. So this is going to be all completely community driven now. I'm going to be putting a poll out every now and then on our community tab. So if you don't know where that is, click on our YouTube channel or click on my YouTube channel and then go to community and then you'll find the latest polls there. I'll be doing a sort of a one-day poll, and this poll, in fact, let me have a little look at it. We put a poll out and we had Imotekh The Stormlord, Flayed Ones, Triarch Stalker and the Canoptic Doomstalker. And we've had 783 votes, and 37% of that is for Imotekh The Stormlord. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Also, we're going to be doing shout-outs as well, like the old days. We're going back to the roots here with the community-driven stuff. Best comment of the videos we're going to be shouting out in the next video. So yeah, if you want to get involved in that, comment down below. Right, so let's talk about Imotekh The Stormlord for a moment in regards to 10th edition Pariah Nexus. Now, aside from the Silent King, he's of course the big daddy, the main guy, the best overlord for the Necrons Codex. Now this dude is 100 points. He's costing 100 points, a little more than an overlord. Is he worth it? We're going to find out in this video. So let's go through his stats just to sort of recap on what we've got here. Movement 5, very standard for infantry. Toughness 5, yep, normal. 2+ armor save, that I tend to actually forget about as well. But 2+ armor with a 4+ invulnerable save. 6 wounds. Leadership 6+ and OC is just 1. Now with that toughness of 5, just bear in mind if he's going to be leading a unit such as Necron warriors, they've got toughness 4 and you've got to use the bodyguard's toughness even for things such as precision shots and things like that. So just remember that one. It's almost like a slight flaw to put in with warriors. Keywords, infantry, yep. Character, yep. Epic hero, so no enhancements. Noble, important for Lichguard, we'll go into that in a bit. And yeah, that's his stats and keywords. So he's coming with the Gauntlet of Fire and Staff of the Destroyer. They're not amazing weapons, but Necron infantry characters don't really carry the best weapons anyway. We don't do that much damage, or we don't have that many attacks. So it's actually not bad. I mean, we've got a Torrent in there, which is quite rare for us. A Strength 5 Torrent, that ignores cover. And the Staff of the Destroyer has damage 2 on it, which isn't bad also. The melee weapon, it's only 4 attacks, that's kind of standard for us. And again, 2 damage weapons. It's just a nice little, you know, you might kill a couple of things, you might kill a couple of Space Marine Intercessors or something along those lines, and maybe recoup a third of his points back. That's the way I see it. That's with just the range and melee attacks. Now, as far as his abilities go, that's probably the main reason you're going to be taking this guy. He's got the Grand Strategist ability, so you're gaining 1 CP and 1 additional CP in your command phase. So you normally get 1 anyway. Both players get a CP in every player's turn, but you'll be gaining an additional CP in your turn, so you'll be gaining 2. So you could be spending them on your stratagems, the core stratagems, your detachment stratagems, and so on. He's also got the Lord of Storm, which is only once per battle, but it's added damage, mortal wounds as well. So where we've already said he might make up a third of his points cost with his range and melee attacks, he might make up another third or even more with these mortal wounds. So you're looking at maybe half to 2/3 of his points cost can be recuperated with just his damage output, which makes him very valuable, in fact. Very valuable. So, leader. He's a leader. He can be leading the following 3 units. We've got Necron Immortals, Lichguard, and Warriors. Now let's go through these because each one of these has its own advantage. Those Immortals, they're toughness 5, so they're going to be matching the toughness of Imotekh The Stormlord. He's not going to get a degraded toughness value for precision. They've got a 3+ armor save as well, so they're slightly more durable than something like Necron Warriors. So getting to Imotekh is a little bit more trickier for your opponent to do. Of course, you want Imotekh on the battlefield for as long as possible to be getting those extra CP. One other advantage with the Immortals though is you can also take a Cryptek with these guys. Like the Warriors, which we'll talk about in a moment, you can take a Plasmancer or a Chronomancer, which can synergize with how Imotekh interacts. So yeah, that's another advantage. There's no invulnerable saves though, of course, on Immortals, unless you're taking Orokin the Diviner maybe, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, you need these guys alive as long as possible. Lichguard, they're more durable. They've got the shields if you're taking the shield option, which you probably are if you're taking Lichguard. They've got the 4+ invulnerable save. They've also got the noble keyword. Well, no, he's got the noble keyword, so that interacts with their Guardian Protocol's ability for a -1 to wound the unit if the opponent's strength is more than toughness 5, which is really good, again, for keeping the unit alive, and therefore keeping Imotekh alive longer. They can't have a Cryptek though. There's no Cryptek options for Lichguard. I mean, maybe they just sit back on the home objective and you just CP farm all game. Maybe they jump onto a no man's land objective and then you get to make use of your Lord of Storm ability and your Torrent and so on. So a good option there. The third option is the Necron Warriors. They've got the numbers. You can have 20, well, you will take 20 of them. Most people do. So your opponent has got to clear 20 off just to get to Imotekh without any precision, of course. You can take a Cryptek in the unit as well. Maybe you're taking an Orokin the Diviner again, or the Technomancer, things like that. However, Warriors are easier to tag within engagement range, which would mean Imotekh the Stormlord is likely going to be getting involved in a melee fight, especially in the No Man's Land, which opens up the door for epic challenge and things like that. So they can get rid of him quicker than you want him to be gone, and that's just CP farm out the window. So that brings me on to the main bulk of the video. There's two questions that need to be asked here. What unit would I let him lead? And does he take the spot of an Overlord and a Royal Warden for me? We need to answer those two questions. So which unit would I have him lead personally? If I had Lichguard within my list, it would definitely be Lichguard. He's got the noble keyword, a -1 to wound. They've already got the in-run saves. They're going to be very durable to get rid of. I don't always take Lichguard nowadays though. I think Wraiths are my preferred option, even though they got a little bit more expensive in the past few months. I'd rather take Wraiths, which Imotekh can't obviously go with Wraiths. I do, however, always have an Immortal unit in my list, always. Just because of the secret mission, just in case, it just opens the door because one of the secret missions relates to battle line units, and if you've got an Immortal unit in your list, it will help, especially the way I play Hypercrypt Legion, to take them out and then keep them safe. But if he's going with the Immortals, it sort of brings me on to the second question. It's like, does he take the spot of an Overlord? Does he take the spot of an Overlord? I mean, in fact, let's sort of go back a bit. We didn't talk about Warriors. Would I let him lead Warriors? I would probably not let him lead Warriors. I think they go down very easily, especially when their reanimation went from D3+3 to just a re-rollable D3. Yeah, Warriors aren't as survivable as they used to be. And like I said already, their footprint's going to be quite big. He's going to get tagged in melee. I think they just go down and they're not as durable as you'd like them to be. Also, if you're considering an Overlord, which is the second part of this question, I would rather an Overlord with Warriors especially, because you've got the Resurrection Orb for D6 returned wounds. You've also got, in fact, you know what, I wouldn't even go with an Overlord. I'd go beyond that. I'd go with a Royal Warden. A Royal Warden is only 40 points. Give the Warriors the ability to fall back, because they will get tagged and they'll be completely redundant once they've been engaged in range. 200 points that can't actually fire. That's crap. So having a Royal Warden for just 40 points more is valuable, but he can't be in the same unit as Imotekh the Stormlord. So yeah, with Warriors, it's a no-go for me personally. Going back to that Overlord though, you've got to remember the Overlord has got the My Will Be Done ability, which isn't quite as good as gaining a CP per turn, but for the Overlord's unit, you get to have a stratagem that costs 1 CP less than it normally would. So potentially 3 on most cases. Some of them will go from 2 to 1 and so on. That is just as good sometimes. It depends on what you plan on spending the stratagems on, or the CP on. If you're going to spend it on that unit anyway, then the Overlord is definitely the better choice. The Overlord is 15 points cheaper as well, so you've got 15 points to put a cheeky enhancement on another unit, on another leader, or the Overlord himself. In fact, you can't even do that with Imotekh the Stormlord because he's an epic hero, as we mentioned earlier. Now, as I already mentioned, I personally played the Hypercrypt Legion. I've played that since the start of the Codex, and I do it without a monolith. Most people play with a Necron monolith within the Hypocrite Legion because most of the stratagems relate to a monolith. I personally don't do it, which does give me a little bit less need for CP within that detachment. I do need it for Cosmic Precision, that's a definite thing, I definitely need that, and maybe some Overwatch or some CP rerolls, but what you need to remember is you get 2 CP per battle round anyway, so the likelihood is you've got CP there. However, if you are playing with a monolith in the Hypocrite Legion particularly, then I totally understand it, and then Imotekh the Stormlord will be very valuable. Some of those stratagems cost you 2 CP per use, and yeah, Imotekh is definitely going to come in clutch there. If you're spending 2 CP, that's your entire battle round CP gone. And if you wanted to do something with Cosmic Precision, you've just spent all your CP, you can't do it. So I definitely understand it. If you are using a monolith, then I would definitely take Imotekh. But as I said, I don't really use the monolith, so I wouldn't need him. But yeah, all in all, Overlords are cheaper. They're not epic heroes, so you've got enhancements. You've got the Resurrection Orb. You've got the ability to, well, the flexibility to be able to customize the Overlord's war gear if you're taking the standard Overlord, or you can go with the Translocation Shrouded Overlord, which is actually even better. You pair that with a Chronomancer, they're going rapid. I think Imotekh is the right points cost at 100 points. It's just that I prefer the generic Overlords, and they're just better for the things that I want them to do. So guys, comment down below, what do you do with Imotekh the Stormlord, and what unit do you put him in? Do you even take him? And keep your eyes open for the next community poll where we'll be doing our Refreser reviews. So yeah, which one shall we do next? I'll leave that in your hands. Guys, I'll see you next time.